The general idea in doing a canvassing system is that it would help church plants interact with the community, get contacts, including feedback, and then communicate with them. These are the initial people you are inviting to your church. You want to get the word out, and you want to keep in contact. Canvasser gives you facilities to make contacts on canvassing efforts, email your contacts, and even assign volunteers to call contacts. Here's how it works. The first thing you need to do is to assign volunteers. This system's already set up with records, so we'll drag in a few volunteers. First we select the top and then shift click on the bottom and drag the whole block into volunteers. These are the people who will be volunteering in our system. Next, we're going to create a Canvas event. Click on Canvas Events, then click on the Add Canvas Event group, and then you give it a name. And then you click OK when done. This adds a Canvas event group, which has groups underneath it, canvassers and contacts. Under canvassers there are leaders, and some of the contacts will be people who have received Christ if you are also sharing your faith. Next, we're going to click on the link tool. This brings up a link that will take you to the Manage Forms app. This is an app that allows you to create forms. First, you log in. The dashboard shows you the forms that you already have. The first one we're looking at is Canvas at the Pier. This is the form that volunteers will use to sign up for a Canvas. We click on it, and you could see the form elements that are here. We are only taking a first name, last name, email, and phone number. If we click back and into the QR code symbol, you see the different ways we can share the form. In our case, we're going to copy the URL to the clipboard so we could put it into an email. Back at the app, we'll select the volunteers group. This is the group we will email to. We click the email button, and that will bring up our email composer. You can type whatever you want, and there's many things you can use to format in here. You can also insert merge fields, which will then merge with the data. In our case, we're going to open up the email that we've pre-composed before and saved. And this email would have within the link there that says register, it will have the link that goes to the form. Now when you click preview, that takes you to a web page that shows you what the form would look like after it's merged. You can also click on the link that we had in there and it will take you straight to the form. In this case, we're adding Adele, but since Adele already exists on the database, it will show you in a drop-down, and you can just click on the name and then register. Back at the app, we'll go ahead and click the link tool and go back to the Manage Forms app. And we're going to take a look at the Give Us Your Feedback form. This will be the form that canvassers will use to take in their information. And you click on that form, and you can see there's a lot more information there. You have full contact information and then feedback information about the church name and wanting to be contacted for further information. Plus we have a ending page for the form. Now here we're going to set that this form is going to put the information into the contacts subgroup of our Canvas event. And then we're going to click on the QR code and we're going to copy a QR code there and we're going to put it into a form. And then these we can copy and distribute to our canvassers. and they just have to use their phone to scan the QR code. Alternately, the people they are talking to can scan it themselves and enter in the contact information on their own phone. This is what the form looks like when you scan it, and you can see what it would look like in a phone, and you see the several tabs that are there. We're going to go ahead and fill in a record here, and we'll fill in the record Phil Smith. And we'll go ahead and put in a few more pieces of information. We're picking a church name that we like, and we're going to say we want to be contacted, and then here we submit the form. And that goes ahead and clears the form for the next person. And you can see in the contacts group for that canvassing, there is the record. Now we're going to fast forward in time so you can see what it looks like when we've had several Canvas events and many records. As you can see, there are canvassers and contacts and those who've received Christ. And we have a lot of data here. But the hard part is knowing what all the contacts are. And we really don't know that because we have contacts in each individual group, but not all of them. And that's where summaries come in. If you want all the contacts, you click All Contacts. If you want to know all who receive Christ, you click All Who Receive Christ. Another function that you can have is being able to interact groups with each other. For example, if we want to know all the contacts who did not receive Christ, we click All Contacts, and then we press the Subtract button, and then All Received Christ. This is a very flexible querying system. Now, when you get to going to emails, it helps to be able to differentiate all these things by email. So we can create email groups. And for this one, we're going to create an email group for a welcome email. Now you can see there's an email group there, and there's a to-do and completed. Now who do we want to email? Well, we want to email all the contacts from our canvassing efforts. So you select all those records and you drag them into to-do. Then from there you select to-do and you click on your emailing button. And in our case, we're going to again open up an email that we've pre-done, and that's our welcome email. When you press send, you just have to select email as the email you're sending it to, and you fill out the subject and press OK. Once you have sent the emails, you select all the records in to-do and you just move them over to completed. And it's as easy as that. Now moving ahead in time, we see that we have now many Canvas events that have happened after we sent our welcome email. So how do we handle this? We don't want to send a welcome email to the same people. That welcome email went to several people already, about 14 contacts there. So how do we remove those? Well, first we start with all contacts and we subtract all emails completed. Another way we can do this is select all contacts and subtract the emails group. This will give us a list of people that have not been contacted through email. And we can send that welcome email knowing they've never received it. Now, what about phone calls? Sometimes we want to call people personally, but we don't want some people to be called by several people, which can be very annoying. So one strategy that we can do is dividing up the phone calls so that there is one phone call for every person. And there isn't a person in multiple people's phone groups. So here's how we do that. First, we select the phone calls group, and we make a phone call group in there. As you can see, it's a set of names. These names are all the people in the volunteers list. And then when you open it up, you can add up another phone group and another. And this can be done rather rapidly. We're going to add just one more. And let's take a look at our list of phone groups here. And each person has a to-do and completed. And this is for convenience, for people to know what they have done and what they haven't, who they've reached and who they haven't. So first, we'll go to the contacts and we'll send 3 to the first one. And then the next 3 to the next one, and so on down the list. Now this is very easy to do when we've had one event, one Canvas event that we're keeping track of. Because we do not have to worry about any prior Canvas events. But now let's deal with the situation where we have further Canvas events that have happened later on in time. So after several Canvas events have happened since the first one, this gets more complicated. Which contacts do we add? Which ones have we already added to our phone bank? How do we not duplicate? Well, this is actually solved rather easily. Select all contacts, and then you subtract phone calls, and that's it. All contacts in here are people who have not been assigned. So let's look at assigning a few people. So we will put this group in to do. And you see they disappear from the list. That's because this list does not include people who are in the phone calls group. Let's select another group and add it in. It's that easy. This ensures that you can assign a contact to one and only one volunteer.